Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the My Team Career Mode for episode 10. Today is the Canadian Grand Prix as we get underway, or maybe it's episode 9. Anyways, as we get underway here to get some things done, as you see, the rivalry against Alpine is now heated 26 points to 12, as we had an excellent result last time out. And it is a very heated rivalry. It is. And so we're definitely going to want to win that because we'll get more or things for it. Anyways, in the owner training here, as I just get a couple things done, and then we go on to activities, to the activity timeline to try to get as many things done for activities as we can. Anyways, at this point in the year, it's getting up on the midway through the season. So really, in my opinion, this is the kind of part of the season we have to still stay focused and start pushing, because you really have to try to get things done and really try to nail the development and other parts of the car because it's really easy to get sidetracked, to be honest. And so hopefully we can just the team can stay focused and nothing bad happens, no bad results. Hopefully everything stays all good as we have an upgrade for the internet in personnel or personal. Uh, which brings us to phase two. Phase two unlock for personnel or personal. So that is lovely to see as we have phase two in engineering and personal now. And we will get the next personal upgrade for that for this week going on underway. There we go. As you can see, the finances there for a quick second. You can see we're losing money slowly. Anyways, we have a development done for the underfloor of the chassis, so we're going to get the cables done for the chassis as well. Hopefully those get in time with no delays before the Austrian Grand Prix. We will get another upgrade before the Canadian Grand Prix, which is this episode. So great, lovely to see that. And honestly, at this point in the season, I don't know if I want to,
Been chatting with some
I
of the
do kind of
team.
want to wait a
They feel our
bit just
rivalry is getting a
because
bit more heated.
I don't want
I'll
to
keep you up to
necessarily
date on
use
how it's all
all
going.
of my cash, or all my cash and all of my resource points because I do know we do have to upgrade for next year's car. Next year, new regulation change. I don't know when that's gonna be available. Like when I'm gonna be available to upgrade for next
Hey,
year.
Chief. We
Um,
have a part or two ready
so
for
if you guys know,
development
honestly,
because they
just let me
finished
know
research.
because
Let's
I'm
get
not
that in
exactly
motion,
sure
shall we?
when that's
Head
gonna
to
be.
engineering for more info.
But it is what it is. Anyways, as we get underway for the uh, Canadian Grand Prix, getting tons of more upgrades completed for the both the Canadian Grand Prix and getting some stuff done that will probably be done for Austria, and if not done for Austria, maybe done for the next race. We'll see. We'll see. Not exactly sure. As we do have durability, I don't know why I've been doing so many durability research on durability. Um, I really don't think it's necessary, just because like after one or two durability upgrades, the difference between the next durability, like the base durability is pretty bad, but after you upgrade it like once or twice, in my opinion, from my past experience, once you upgrade it just a couple times, the durability gets way better, and it's really not worth the cost. But at the same time, I didn't really have much other research to be researching, as we do get a development expansion for chassis, or was that Arrow, I believe. I can't remember. I did went by a bit too fast. Anyways, as we will get the ECU for powertrain on the car, or well, not now, not this episode, maybe not even next episode, but we do have it done. And for chassis, we don't have any more developments to get underway, but we do have facility improvements for engineering, and I will believe I will go here with development expansion for Aero, so we can get more three or two, I think, Arrow things completed at once, or maybe it is two because we are in three because we're
Chief,
in phase
I
two.
must remind you that we have
Anyways, as the
parts fully
Halo is
researched
done
that are waiting for development.
for
Let's get that performance on the car.
research, we have that Halo done, which is a pretty nice upgrade. So just here getting the front wing gauntlet or whatever you want to call it on the car. Anyways, let's go to qualifying to see what we can do.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here in Canada at the wonderful Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Who's going to come out fastest of all in the next hour? Yes, it's time for qualifying.
Right, so as we get underway for qualifying, as you can see there, we had a couple engine components that were bad for practice. So here I'm just making sure that I did tell them to replace it. It says pending, which kind of scared me because every time when you put it on, it says pending instead of it's actually on, even though it was actually in fact already on. So thankfully we did have those on, so no problem there. So we'll have the engine parts on. I just put the old ones on for practice, so we didn't put even more wear on the engines. Anyways, let's get to the first run of Q1. Here, only 8 minutes left. So go a little bit deep into turn 2, a little bit deep into turn 1, a little bit deep into turn 2 as well. Nearly just pissed the curb there. We get on the power, apply the ERS, try to slide the brakes in, slide the car, keep the car moving through there. Dip the left tire to the grass 2 times there. Go to the end of the run here in Q1, and with the green, no surprise here. Let's run to the line, dump the ERS, dip the right tire in the grass, and we run to the line, and it's good enough for P15, a 1:13.1, P15. So let's see if we can improve on that or not. But I decide to not go for another qualifying lap and to see if I can stay and get into Q2, which would be great. Oscar Piastri leads away from Yuki Tsunoda, and in fact we do. So I was pretty clear of that. I was what is that? Roughly 3/10, so not bad. 3/10 clear of Isaac Hadjar. But unfortunately in Q2, it told me it was gonna be raining the entire time, and I thought it was gonna be raining a little bit less in the beginning, or a little bit less at the end, and more at the beginning. So I waited till the end, but apparently it was dry enough that they could get some dry runs in. So nothing, unless a complete miracle happens, or they went in the wet with slick tires. Either way, something's unbelievable is gonna have to happen for us to not get 16th here. But as you can see here, if you just look at the time to Leclerc, 1:19.4. I get he's in P12. But still, we are definitely not making that time, as we nearly run out of time before we even enter the last corner. We cut the curb there, just because literally at this point, why not? We run to the line. It's a 1:25.0 or was it 0.0 or 0.9? But that's an unfortunate P16. I'm not gonna lie, there's not much else I could have done there. Honestly, maybe that's because the weather isn't upgraded, but I don't know. It is what it is. But surprisingly, Leclerc and Verstappen knocked out, and Piastri, and the 2 Williams in Q2. That's pretty surprising to have all 5 of them. Sorry, all 4 of those people. Anyways, let's go to the race to see what we can do.
Here in Montreal, Lights Out is quickly approaching on this artificial island originally built for the World Fair in 1967. Now it's used for a World's Fair of a different kind, ever since Formula One first arrived here. We're back in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. It's one of the fastest races of the season here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 60% of this 2.7-mile circuit taken at full throttle. There are 14 corners to navigate, the very last of which has its very own infamous history and could be the cause of a safety car today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Fernando Alonso, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Ocon, Stroll, Hülkenberg, Bortoleto, and Lando Norris, Verstappen, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, and Sainz, Albon, Crawford, Isaac Hadjar, and Jack Doohan, Gasly, Lawson, Vershaw, and Ollie Behrman rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me, bringing glamour and expertise to our commentary today, Naomi Schiff. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. What a track this is, and what a challenge for the drivers this weekend. Long straights, heavy braking zones, and a very green surface to start with.
This happens to be one of the driver's favorites. It is a low downforce circuit that is fast and flowing, but it is also demanding on the brakes. And be careful, because let's not forget the wall of champions that catches out so many.
We're not in the best position to get another points finish, so try and use the first lap to your advantage and make up places.
Right, so as our engineer said, we are starting from an unfavorable position. And so I just go with mediums first to see if we can get a good run off the line and maybe jump up some places, maybe even get up to points. Because, I mean, you've seen before, we have had the ability to actually get up to those places with some good starts. Even though our car isn't great, it actually isn't bad in the corner, genuinely, because I really have only really been doing aero upgrades. That's the main thing I have been focusing on, and also just because when it comes to the first few laps of the race,
okay, incredible
you can
parking
pretty
there.
much
Nice
do
one.
anything.
That's going to give you the edge if you can get good launch as the race starts.
The car difference isn't that big of a deal. Anyway, starting the mediums, the rest on hards, and we go to lights out, and away we go for the Canadian Grand Prix. It seems to be an okay getaway for us, but Albon seems to be running away with it. Doohan gets a good jump on us, and so does Isaac Hadjar as we dive it down the inside of both the Williams, and let's see, we can only get Albon, and Sainz stays ahead, but we try to go around the outside. Piastri giving us a bit of dirty air. Leclerc down to P13. Piastri jumping up to P12. Verstappen still in P11. Let's see if we can get points. We dive down the inside of Leclerc, and Leclerc got absolutely done in by Crawford, the American driver, first American driver since Logan Sargent. Now, a bit of a gap forward to Piastri, but we close it up here in this corner because of all the cars bunched up here on the first lap of the race. And let's see exactly what we can get done here. Piastri, P12, away from us, P13, and then Leclerc. So we're sandwiched between two unbelievably fast drivers. As we go to the replay, it's Hamilton on pole, and Tsunoda, and then Russell. What am I watching? Tsunoda P2, while his teammate Verstappen is in 11th. What is this alternate universe? Anyways, Leclerc gets a good jump. Alonso up in P4. Ocon diving it down the inside of Antonelli for P5. So what is going on here? Hulkenberg P7. Stroll, Bortoletto double hit Sauber finish. Mercedes and Sauber are the only teams that are double in the points. Norris just in the points with a P10, trying to hold on to his championship hope, but his championship rival's right behind him, and then Piastri's behind him. So can Piastri maybe slow down Verstappen, his teammate's championship rival, or does he really not care about his teammate as we've seen in the past? Because he is a very fast, great racer himself, Piastri is. As we just go down the list, Gasly, our rival, in P20, and then Vasseur behind him. So Vasseur's behind our rival, but we are ahead of his teammate, his other rivals. We dive it down the inside of Leclerc, who did get us done, and Sainz as well diving down the inside of Leclerc. So Leclerc overtook us, or no, we overtook Leclerc, and then Sainz overtook Leclerc. So that's pretty crazy, as we nearly run into the back of Piastri, just nearly avoiding an accident. The rear end getting a little loosey-goosey there, just too quick on the power, to be honest. That's the one thing I've always struggled with, just racing in general, but especially F1 games. It's just, it's hard for me to get on the power in time, to not lose a bunch of delta time to the AI. Like when it comes to corner entry, I'm actually genuinely a lot better than the AI level I am at. But when it comes to corner exits, I just get cooked because for some reason I've never been able to do it. To be fair, I have a pretty cheap wheel and pedals. I genuinely want to upgrade them, but we'll see. Anyways, as we see if we send it down the inside of Piastri, unbelievable overtake. And now we see if we can get it on a Max Verstappen. I very highly doubt that because in this game, the Red Bull is very fast and he is very fast. Unlike in real life, where he is very fast, but the Red Bull isn't very fast. But who knows? You know, we've seen him win several races where he shouldn't have won this year. So hopefully things will be more like in this game in real life. Sorry, that's what I'd like to say. As Hadjar diving down the inside of Albon, so Albon really falling off the base as we try to defend from Piastri, as we have completely broken DRS from Verstappen, and we fake a dive down the inside of Piastri, and we touch his rear wing a bit there. but no harm is done to our car, and I don't think Oscar lost a ton of time there. Anyways, as I was saying, I mean, Verstappen, he won in Monza from pole. He won in Japan from pole, and in Imola he overtook into turn one. So it looks like this season in real life, as Lando Norris retires, as we were just talking about his championship rival in game, he retires. He's already what, 40 points behind Verstappen, and he just retires. I know Verstappen's only in P10, but he's definitely not staying in P10. He's got 2 Saubers in the points, 2 Aston Martins in the points, a Haas in the points. There's no way. Anyways, as Hamilton absolutely gaps pretty much everybody. But that's very unfortunate for Norris in retiring. Let's get a replay of that here. Yes, it just failures. Nothing really else. It's kind of like the Dutch Grand Prix in real life. I mean, it sucks, but that's racing, to be honest. It sucks to see. He is one of my favorite drivers in real life, but that is what happens, and I'm not gonna keep pointing things and keep whining about it just because, you know, his engine blew up. I mean, it happens to everybody, and yes, would he have not lost so many points on Oscar? Sure, but shoot, that's how it goes, you know. And unfortunately, it could have happened to Oscar too, and so it is what it is. But anyways, that's unimportant right now. That was quite a long time ago. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, Verstappen, he's all over the back of Bortoleto, so he will probably get up at the P8. Verstappen, with that experience in pure pace, just definitely wanting to get past that Kick Sauber. Probably get up to P6. There's definitely a way he can get past Alonso. And probably the Ocon as well, as we dive it down the inside of Hulkenberg. Okay, unbelievable overtake. He's on the softs. It shows, I think, that his softs are wearing off, because I could sense that his softs were really wearing down and he needed a pit there. So I was like, I need to get this overtake done now before he keeps messing up my lap. As you can see, Leclerc just overtook him there. Anyways, as Russell sees what he can do around Tsunoda maintaining P2, Russell P3, very close battle, and this is just helping out Hamilton even more. Hamilton 3-second gap to Hamilton. Next we go to lap 7, Leclerc versus Sainz. Let's see what can get done here. We dive it down the inside Sainz. We kind of touch Sainz a bit dirty racing by us, but we'll live with it. It's not super aggressive. But both Leclerc and Albon have DRS, and they're just like wolves hunting us down, honestly, as Leclerc tries something, but we go super late on the brake, sliding the car around the final corner, breezing past the wall of champions, and that actually slowed down Leclerc so much. I believe his front tire touched our rear tire, that Sainz now overtook him. So really slowing up Leclerc, who was obviously a lot faster than Williams, but by lap 8, he's already re-overtaken Sainz, and is now on to overtake us. As Sainz goes for us, and Leclerc goes for us, it's a double overtake here, heading into the chicane onto the long back straight, or I guess you could call it back straight. It's not really a back straight, but it's a straight that is before the final corner, so kind of a back straight, but it's not on the back part of the track, so depends on how you define it. Anyways, we are now falling down pretty rapidly. One, medium tires really wearing out. As you can see, Hulkenberg, he comes to the pit, lap 8. He's on the soft tire, so definitely a very aggressive strategy. I expect to see him hit mediums, could hit to softs and then go mediums again. But if he goes hard, there's genuinely no way he's making it. Yep, called it. Medium tires. I'm guessing it's going to be a soft, medium, medium. Could be a soft, medium, medium hard, or soft, medium hard. Goodness gracious, excuse me. Could be a soft, medium hard. But it is what it is. But the strategy, I don't know if it really makes a massive difference for them. Maybe the medium's a lot better pace at the end of the race, but I feel like most people will be on hards.
Try to stay with them.
But maybe not, because pretty much everybody's on hards now. But I think a ton of people are doing hard, medium, hard, because they recommended a two-strap for us. As Albon gets past us, and now Hadjar gets past us, and we don't do just squeezing it past them to get into the pits. That was pretty risky, if I do say so myself. We nearly completely took out our front wing and our front, well, took out our tire. Who cares about taking out a front wing if your tire's gone? So I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we nearly took out our tire. As we 50 hard tires, it's a slow stop. Oh, of course it is. Love it. I love this game. It's my favorite pit crew I've ever raced. Yay! Anyways, that's a nearly 5 second pit stop. That's kind of what happened in Italy to Norris, but unfortunately, we're not even fighting for the points, let alone a championship. Yeah, as Hulkenberg retires, so he could have been somebody in the fight, as you can see there on pit exit. We came pretty close to him. We probably would have been about 3 seconds behind him because he slowed down quite a bit before the DNF. So we probably would have been 3 to 5 seconds behind him. Anyways, as a ton of people, Stroll, Bortoleto, all fits here lap 10. Stroll goes medium. What is this? Medium. So probably a medium, soft, slow pit stop for Stroll. That rear right tire taking forever, and then a pretty slow stop for Bortoleto as well. So both of them running at the points, which is crucial for their team, very crucial. But unfortunately, got screwed over in the pits. If Bortoleto could have had a fast pit stop, he could have overtaken Stroll definitely in the pits, I think. But he's pretty sure he got screwed over as well. Both getting 4 to 5 second pit stops if I had to put a number on it. Roughly. I wish you could kind of see the pit stop time in the replay. That would be kind of cool, I guess. But it's not a big deal to add it or not. Anyways, as we go to lap 10, this is our, what is this? This is our first lap on the hard tires? Yes. As you can see here, there's all the other people we undercut just slightly. We are now P18, just coming out ahead of Lawson. Goodness. There is the DNF car of Hulkenberg from the lap prior. So yes, this would be the next one. And Lawson's over the rear of us. Gasly over the rear of Lawson, which is our rival. So we definitely want to keep Gasly behind as long as possible.
No issues with
if not the whole race. But they're both on fresh mediums, and I'm on hards. That are fresh hards, but they're. I mean, our tires might be in a better temperature operating zone. But like still, it's not really a match. But we have managed to defend, and we have been setting green and green so far, but we go super deep on the brake. Just try to get the car turned around there. That definitely did not give me the best exit, as I kind of did like a very sharp turn instead of kind of letting the car open up a little bit. But that was because I went so deep. You can't really let it open up because there would have been a wall there. As Richard Bashore, our teammate, goes into the pits, and we cut the curve slightly. But hey, if I didn't see it, I didn't see it. Am I turning up the difficulty? Am I turning up the oh, we said a purple sector, sector 3. Goodness gracious, I'm having like the biggest like meltdown. Anyways, I'm not turning up the difficulty when it comes. I'm not turning up the track limits because they tend to be a bit. Like, they tend to just be overly. I wish they had, like, in between normal and medium. So because, like, on this normal, I can get away with the most audacious track limit. But then sometimes it just randomly gives me a very hard penalty. But, like, other times it just doesn't see it. So it's pretty random. So I wish I had something in between a little bit more consistent and not quite exactly realistic. Just because also, sometimes I just cut the track just because. Just because I want to, and okay, that makes me sound like I'm stupid, but like, I set it to a high level AI because when I perform my very best, I can definitely beat this AI. Like, even in the worst car, against this AI, if I race my best race, I'll be pretty happy with points. Which is why when I have good races, I raise the difficulty, and then the next race isn't so good of a race, and so I drop down, even though the car has gotten better. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but like, for me, in this series, it's been like a constant thing of like, where do I put the difficulty? Because I perform really great. Like, China was a pretty okay race, actually. It wasn't the best race. That was just the difficulty being really low. Because in Australia, I did a 2-stop when I could have pulled off a 1-stop. As we dived it down the inside of Lawson. Beautiful, but with
Nice
not that it
work,
really
mate. That
matters.
brings you up a
But
place.
let's see if we can see how close
Okay,
we
so
can
we're
get the
leading our
signs. I think he's
teammate
on
by
older tires.
8.8
He
seconds.
may not be, but as we go around the outside, try to leave space for Lawson, but we're gonna have to just shut the door on him there and just get a little argy-bargy. Anyways, as we go to Albon, the other Williams, who I was talking about signs, now we're talking about Albon. He comes at the pit. That's a rather good stop. Not the best, but still pretty good. Not as good, not as bad as most of our pit stops have been. Pretty much this entire season. So hopefully those pit crew upgrades that I have ordered, I think should come in soon. And a little bit embarrassing, Richard Bashore, our teammate, has yet to pit as many times as Albon and is still behind him, or just in front of him. I can't remember. That's embarrassing. To be fair, he has a much slower car than Jack Crawford does, because we have been, even though originally we were prioritizing Richard Bashore, now we're prioritizing Jack Crawford, as Stroll is off the back of Verstappen, but he's not overtaking Verstappen anytime soon. He just got overtaken. So Verstappen, great comeback drive from P11 as we go to Behrman. He does the pits. His other teammate up in P4, lovely race from Hawkins. So far, let's see if he can hold it together. He stayed in P4 pretty much the whole race leading to him. But Antonelli is 0.3 back, and he's 4 seconds behind Russell. So he's 100% pretty close to dropping down. Let's just put it that way. He's pretty close to dropping down the order. Alonso probably has more pace than that. Haas as well. So we shall see. As we go to Hamilton, lap 17. Look at that. 7 seconds. I mean, that's not insane. I've seen crazier, but that's still good. Like, that's still quite decent. Especially given that we were fighting his teammate early on, who's down at P9.
P13, you're currently in P13.
Anyways, as I was saying about the series in general, let me know what you guys think about it. Because in terms of the AI level, I just think that it's way too... It's just way too the way it is. It's very unpredictable. Like, we had the second to worst car on the grid, and I got a P5. And then our car is getting better now, and our results are getting worse. That is because I'm upping the difficulty. Because I don't want to be getting those P5s and P7s like we did early on for the beginning season. So if I wish I could undo something in the series, that was getting those points early on. Because now is when we should be scoring a couple points, you know? In the first 5 races, you should maybe get 1 P10 or something, or P9 if you're lucky, you know? You should maybe get something like that. Because realistically speaking, we're last on the grid. But for me, it's just like some tracks I drive better and some tracks I perform better.
See these tires through to the end
yeah, it's just what I was saying earlier. It's tough to gauge for me. Like Hungary, for example. That's a track where in 2024 I was very strong, but in 2025, not the strongest. I tried, so like sometimes I just set like short races, even though short races don't really emulate the longer races like the ones I do. I just set short races and then set it to like what I've been doing recently, set it to 100 AI and see what I can do. And in some of the tracks that are my good tracks, I can compete with the 100 AI quite nicely, actually, and it's actually very good racing. But on other tracks, even if I set it to 95, I'm still barely keeping up. And I get that's how it can be for some real drivers too, but I don't want it to be that clear of a distinction. I don't want to go from like P17 to P8 just because I performed better or because I like the track better. I kind of want to show the cars how good the car is. Instead of showing how good I did, I want to show how good I want to make it so where when the car improves, we genuinely actually improve. Instead of when we have a better result, it's just luck. I want the better result to be because of car performance, not because of luck. Hopefully that makes sense. I just had to yap about that for a good long while because it's just something I wanted to say. Anyways, Hamilton comes to the pit. Very crucial stop for Hamilton. He comes out P2. So even if there's a red flag here, of course he'd be very pissed, as I would be too. I'm leading by 12 seconds, but he's only P2. So that's the comfortability of having such a large lead. You can pit stop and still come in the podium position. You can still be in the podium position, which is kind of crazy. Anyways, as we go to lap 26, we have pitted. We are now 6 seconds clear of Hadjar, who was on fresher hard tires. This is, what, a couple laps old on our hard tires. I think this is, what, 3, 4? I think we put it on 22, 23. And Hadjar just hit it. So his tires are probably about 8 to 10% wear better than ours. So he's going to be faster. So we're going to have to stay consistent with these laps, because near the end of the race, Hadjar's really going to close up over the race. But I don't see us catching signs on those mediums, to be honest, at all. That's definitely not happening. Anyways, as we skip to lap 35, Lewis Hamilton wins the Canadian Grand Prix, where he won his first race with McLaren. He now wins for the first time with Scuderia Ferrari, of course, in this alternate universe. But he wins the race, which is lovely to see by a pretty massive margin, which is great to see Hamilton being dominant. I'm not the biggest Lewis fan. I don't hate him, but even though I'm not the biggest fan of him, I still love to see him winning a race. As Isaac Hadjar has a little look around our gearbox to try to pass us there, but we completely close the door on his front wing and secure P13. Not the best result, but still pretty good given the way our car is, and a P13, I'll take it. Charles Leclerc, driver of the day. Let's go to the podium celebration.
And as we've said so many times in the past, the checkered flag is out for our winner, Lewis Hamilton.
And it's one thing to win, but to win like that in total dominant style, that was a fantastic drive, and it is not one that we see very often.
There's room for 3 on their podium, but only ever 1 right at the top. Let the celebrations begin. It's a familiar sight in Formula One, and here it is once again. Lewis Hamilton, with the trophy held high, celebrating a masterful victory.
Right,
well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Lovely race. We could have raced better, but it is what it is. Great race for Hamilton, winning by 18 seconds. Tsunoda getting a podium, which, you know, in my opinion, as I've said many times, they make Tsunoda, and specifically not just Tsunoda, especially Red Bull, way too fast. But it is what it is. So he gets a podium. Obviously, realistically, he'd be barely getting points, but it is what it is. He finishes in front of his teammate. Max finishes behind his teammate for the first time since Baku 2023, besides DNFs, of course. So that's a crazy stat. Anyways, looking at the Drivers' Championship, Lando Norris 61 points behind Verstappen, which is pretty unfortunate. And anyways, let me know how you enjoyed this, guys. Please leave a like, please comment, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode for Austria. See you guys. God bless.